I will be known as Detective Kirsten going forward. Thank you very much. Thank you. Hello my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten. I can't really see you, I don't have glasses on. Hang on a minute. Okay, I can kind of see you now. Oh, this is really looking quite rough, but we are on Saturday evening. I wasn't going to start the vlog today, I was honestly going to start it tomorrow. I'm also holding my camera because I just can't be bothered to get my tripod out. I'm being lazy, it's literally, I can see it, it's there. But I'm having a really nice chilled evening. We have Gavin, who is doing some live sprints, which I don't know if you can even see that. You can't see that. But trust me, it's Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin is doing some live sprints this evening. And I just felt like taking part and just reading and relaxing. And so that's what we're going to do. So I thought we'd start off because I'm going to be starting a book and going with The Witch Child by Celia Rees. This is a book that I picked up from Yelk and I'm really intrigued by it. It's a journal that's lain hidden for more than 300 years, and when it's discovered, its pages reveal a powerful and moving story, a story from the 1600s, all about witchcraft and stuff. I'm super intrigued by this. It sounds amazing. As I said at the end of last week's vlog, I have this week to kind of mood read and do whatever the hell I want, but I'm also on nights, so I literally have tonight and then I'm on night shifts. I'm gonna enjoy it. We're gonna do the reading sprints, we're gonna read some of this. I also have some apple turnovers. I love these things and I can never find them anywhere. I found some of these today, so we're probably gonna have munch on those. Thinking maybe do a cup of tea. Gavin's in the middle of actually chatting and I've just muted him, but I just wanted to start a vlog. I really wanted to do it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do a cup of tea. We're going to start this and I might update with how I get on, or I might just update tomorrow morning with how much I've read. But yeah, I'm excited for it. I haven't done reading sprints in ages. And I know this is such a weird way to start off a weekly vlog, but I'm really pleased. And I am in my pajamas and my hair is a mess and it is in the evening. So we don't have great lighting. We just have my light on here. We're gonna enjoy the vibes. So I'll probably film little bits and stuff. Maybe I will actually get my tripod out and actually show that I'm reading. But yeah, we're gonna see how it goes. So I hope you all are doing very well. We'll see how much of this I actually get read. I'm really intrigued. I'm really feeling those witchy vibes at the minute. So let's see how it goes. Good morning, or technically afternoon now. I did end up staying up, not really late, not as late as I wanted to considering I am on nights starting tonight. I did stay up doing the reading sprints with Gavin, just joining in as he hosted those. It was so much fun. I also managed to get a bit of editing done during that, so that was great. As you saw, the book I was talking about is Witch Child. I did get up to page 95. And it's not really chapters, they're journal entries. It's very, very short. Like some of them are half a page, some of them are a few pages long. So it's really quick and easy to read. It is interesting. I have to admit the first few pages really drew me in. They were so brutal. We're following Mary. Her grandmother was taken away because she was deemed as a witch, and so she was taken away and tortured to get to confess to being a witch, which she refused to do. So the first few pages are just learning about that, about the torture that she went through. Mary then escapes and is now going to America to escape the persecution. She's now pretending to be a Puritan, kind of struggles with this, and it is her journal entries that we're following. It is a bit slower, so after that initial like really brutal drawing me in, it's now slowed right down as Mary's just trying to find her place. She's very lost and confused. At the moment we're on a ship that is sailing to America. I do find it interesting because we're only seeing her journal entries. We do get quite a skewed perception of what's going on here. You don't get to know what other people are thinking or interacting with. It's only what Mary believes. So I am enjoying it, although where it's slowed down and we're just on a ship part, my enjoyment level has kind of plateaued, I would say. It's not quite as hooked as that first initial pages, but I am intrigued to see where it goes. I also didn't realise this was part of a series, but it is. I kind of hoped that it was just a standalone, and I'll be interested to see whether I can read it as just a standalone or whether you do kind of need to read it as part of the series, Whether I continue on, I guess we'll see with how the rest of the book goes. But I do like it, and I think this is going to be a really easy one to read because of the way it's formatted, like it's super quick. But what I have decided to do is read this one on my way to and from work. I think just doing that, because I've got 4 night shifts, I think just doing that is going to be really, really easy. So that's the plan for that. And then while I'm at home, I have my buddy read, which I will talk about when I actually get around to picking it up, because I've been talking about it for the last 2 weeks, because we're doing a month-long buddy read. But I also decided to pair it with something just completely different. So I'm also thinking of picking up The Agathas by Kathleen Glasgow and Liz Lawson. This is one that I picked up again from Yowk, so we're having a bit of a Yowk reading week. And this is a murder mystery, and it following someone who is obsessed with Agatha Christie. And considering I really want to start Agatha Christie, I was going to start it this month, but I'm actually thinking, because I couldn't fit on my TBR, I'm going to do that next month and read a book of a character that's obsessed with Agatha Christie. I'm looking forward to this. I don't know too much about it. I don't want to, because murder mysteries do want to kind of go in blind. It is a young adult murder mystery. I saw Olivia from Olivia Reads a Latte read this one. She seemed to like it. Fingers crossed I do too. So that's what I'm going to be picking up when I'm at home. This one on the trains to work, and then my buddy read, I'll probably start that maybe tomorrow just to get ahead, because the last few times I've been leaving it till quite late in the week and they've been wanting to talk about it early, because I am buddy reading with Ellie from Bibbidi Bobbidi Books and Steph from Skim with Steph. That is the plans, and those are my initial thoughts about Witch Child. I'm looking forward to it. Right now I actually need to film some TikToks, because I have started TikTok now, which is really interesting, different way of filming and stuff. It's a lot quicker, and I'm just getting used to like the editing and stuff. I will have it linked below in case you're interested. Never thought I would actually go to that social media platform, but I am having fun with it, so let's see how it goes. I've got about 5 hours before I then have to go to work, because it's my 12-hour night shift today, so 6:30 till 6:30. Okay, I'm going to get on and crack on with my day, and I'll probably update you when I have more updates with both of these. I'm hoping that this will be a nice pairing of 2 completely different genres, a YA murder mystery and a YA historical fiction, paired with the buddy read, which I know I keep just mentioning, but if you've watched the other vlogs you already know, so if not, you're going to find out probably in the next update, maybe, who knows, we'll see. Okay, right, I need to go, so let's go. Did I start chatting without pressing record? Yes. Yes, I did. But I have a few reading updates and a few changes that's happening to this week's reading already, which honestly, every time I give myself like a mood reading week, this is what happens. It's so chaotic. Like, I need a TBR to stick to, because otherwise I just don't know what to read and I end up picking up everything. But let me just start at the beginning. Okay, let's start at the beginning. Oh, you know what? At the beginning would be what I started before I went to work yesterday, and that is The Agathas. I'm really enjoying this. It is that silly, tropey, young adult book, but it's really fun, and I don't mind young adult books when they are murder mysteries, which is really weird, but I do. I like them when they're murder mysteries. So we're at the point where our main character, so we have 2 perspectives we follow with Alice and Iris. Alice is this really popular girl, but she pulled an Agatha Christie, is what she calls it in her mind, where Agatha Christie, she went missing for 11 days and nobody knew what happened. And Alice did the exact same thing when she realised that her best friend had got with her boyfriend and she just couldn't deal with anything. So she was just like, you know what, I'm out, and disappeared for a few days, and then came back, and everyone was really, really annoyed with her for doing this. And now she's facing the consequence of the fact that when she goes back to school, people are just not interested in her, her friends, her everything that she had at school, that popularity just seems to have gone. And she's a bit like, well, hang on a minute, why are you all blaming me? She's the one that took my boyfriend. So there's a lot of that teen drama stuff going on, and honestly, I'm enjoying it. It's easy. You don't have to think too hard about it. It just works. And then you have Iris, and Iris is someone that is poorer. We have kind of a very split social hierarchy in terms of you have people that are really rich and people that don't. That they have to really work hard for a living, and Iris comes from that and Alice from the higher society part. Iris also has had something really crap happen to her in her life. Her story is a bit more like down to earth. She works really hard because she's desperate to get her and her mum away from this town and just somewhere where they can just thrive a bit better, rather than being constantly stuck on the edges of this town and just dealing with things that she'd rather not have to deal with. So she works incredibly hard and to try and get this scholarship to get them out of this town. And these two unlikely people end up together in this circumstances. But we're at the part now where I think the death is about to happen. So the murder's about to happen. According to the back of this, Iris and Alice work together to solve it. I'm really enjoying this so far. I've only read up to chapter 6, page 52. At the start of each chapter, you have a quote from an Agatha Christie book, which I'm loving because I really want to read Agatha Christie. Like, that's something I'm desperate to do next month. I'm excited. There are so many books in her series, and I'm starting off with the Miss Marple books. I'm really, really excited. I think what I'm going to end up doing is reading the Miss Marple books, potentially collecting those, and then the Pryor books, I need to work on that pronunciation. I might just get those from like the library or something, because Agatha Christie has an extensive collection. Unless of course I end up loving her work and then I want a whole shelf dedicated to her books. But tangent. Point is, I'm loving the fact that we do have quotes, and I think when I actually read those books, I'm then going to understand what the quote was referencing to each chapter. So I think it's going to be fantastic. So yeah, absolutely loving this. Then I did take Witch Child to work yesterday, technically last night, read it a bit more this morning, and I'm now up to page 159. We're on kind of part 3, so we finally come off of the ship. Been a lot about like religion in this because Mary joins a group of Puritans, and it's just really, really heavy on the whole God side of things and praying and fasting and sermons and stuff, and I'm just not a religious person. Like, I'm really not, and reading about it, I'll be honest, bores me to a certain degree. But I will say, even though I'm not a person that is drawn into books with lots of religion about it, it is interesting because our main character is just going along with things. She doesn't actually believe in what they're doing, but is doing it to keep the disguise of don't look at me, don't notice me, I'm okay. So that's interesting. But yeah, overall it's okay. So our character has finally landed in Salem, and they're now debating whether they stay in Salem or whether they try and move on into the wilderness to find a place for them all to settle down. So there's been lots of arguments about that. I don't know, I just think for me this book isn't capturing my interest, and I do still have 200 pages left to go of this book, and like I did say, it is very, very easy to read, so that's a bit of a shame. But as a result, I was talking about this to my friend at work, and we ended up on the subject of Bunny by Mona Awad, and she was just like, I don't know how I'd feel about it, and I was just like, well, we should read it together, we should do that. So that's what we're gonna do. She got it on Kindle, I have the actual book, and we're going to buddy read this together. We're both on night, she's my night partner, so we work the whole night shift together, so this is now what we're going to be doing. I think this is going to be really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. This is going to be probably a slower buddy read. We'll see how far we get into this, but I'm intrigued because I did try and pick this up once before. Ended up DNFing it because it just got so weird. But I feel like with having a buddy read with this, it's going to be a lot more fun to just talk about different thoughts and things that are going on. And also, I've been wanting to finish this book because the people that actually managed to finish this book go of two ways. Either what was the point, or oh my god, it makes so much sense, this was so clever. And I really want to see what part I fall into. I mean, fingers crossed it's worth buying it twice. I guess we're going to find out, but I think it's going to be really fun to actually just buddy read this with my friend and just see what she thinks as well, and see the weirdness ensue, because I'm looking forward to it. So I am putting down Witch Child for now to pick up a Bunny instead, which is what I mean by when I mood read, it's a bit all over the place. But today I also am going to start reading a bit more of Nettle and Bone, which I'm buddy reading, as I already said, with Ellie and Steph. We need to read 6 chapters this week, so I want to at least read 2 chapters today, but I do have quite a bit that I want to do before I go back to work again tonight, so we'll see how much I actually get read, even if it's just a chapter. But this is so much fun. I'm going to keep my preface of this really short because of the fact that I mention it every single week this month, because it is a month-long buddy read, and that is, we are following Mara, and she is deciding to go on this quest to save her sister, who is in this really abusive relationship with the prince, because he's got their family in a political stronghold, and so he can do whatever the hell he wants without any consequences. And Mara's had enough of waiting for somebody to come and save them all, and is deciding, you know what, I'm just going to do this myself. She's a really interesting character. She's 30 years old. She's not someone that's really like special in it, and I say special, like, you know, the chosen one trope, but she is someone just with the determination to help, and she will put herself through all sorts just to help them, and she overthinks, and she's just really, really relatable. At the point that I'm at, we have our final member of the group that's just come together, where we have a ragtag group that's got together to help Mara in this quest, and that's what they're gonna do. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. There's a bone dog, there's a demon possessed chicken, which I really like. We have a fairy godmother that's really not that powerful, a grave witch or grave wife, and she is a bit more powerful, and this bodyguard who just seems a bit weird. So yeah, it's a really random group, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm really enjoying the discussions that we're having of this. It's just like a dark fairy tale story, so it's perfect. So I definitely want to try and read at least another chapter of that today. But who actually knows, because like I said, I don't have a TBR for this week, so it's ended up being a lot of different books at once, which I never used to do either. Or like at the start of this channel, I used to read one book at a time, and I used to stick to my TBRs and stuff, and now I'm just like multiple books at once. Still try and stick to TBRs just to stay on track, and I do still plan out my reading. Like as soon as I've got my TBR for the month, I plan out, okay, I'm reading this book this week, this book this week, and do it like that. But because of the way things worked out and my TBR game being so nice to me this month, meaning that I had a week free, chaos has ensued. So we're gonna go with it. Right, I've actually got quite a bit I need to do today, so I should probably get on and do that. Good morning, or technically afternoon, but it is my morning at the moment. I have quite a few reading updates to do, and I'm having such a good time doing this mood reading slightly chaotic week. It's just been amazing. But let me start off with the book that I start off my day reading. When I sit down to have my lunch, normally about 3 o'clock, I've been picking up Nettle and Bone, and I tend to read a chapter or 2 chapters a day. It's been lovely to do. It's just such a fun, dark fairy tale, and I can't help but enjoy this book. So where we're up to at the moment, Mara's had this massive breakdown. She's just overwhelmed with the fact that they're now in the kingdom and they've come so far, but there is so much left to do, and what are they even going to do? How are they even going to do this? And then we also have a bit more background to the big strong guy, whose name, honestly, I keep forgetting, but I just know he's big and strong. And you have more of his background, about his honour and everything, so that was really interesting. You also learn more about the fairy godmother. None of this is spoilers because it does say on the synopsis that she ends up with a band of people helping her, and one of them is this big strong guy, and one of them is a fairy godmother. It's really interesting about the fairy godmother. I really like it. Obviously, I won't tell you the specifics about that because that would be spoilers, but it is really interesting and I like the way that's done. And then there was a really creepy bit that we just ended on, so I should actually tell you where I'm at to. Chapter 15, page 213, and where we just left them, the place that they're staying at, it's, yeah, there's something so creepy about it, and it's just, it got to me. It really got to me. It's so creepy. So yeah, so I've got another 3 chapters to read this week, but I'll probably do the same, maybe read a chapter today with lunch, maybe 2 tomorrow or something. But it's just been great to start off my reading day with this book, which I gushed about so much, so I'm not going to keep talking about all the things I love about it because it hasn't changed. My thoughts and feelings about it stay exactly the same. And then I go back to more editing and just sorting things out, filming some TikTok videos because I'm actually really enjoying that. It's been really good. And then before I go to work, I sit down and read an hour with the Agathas, and this is so good. I'm loving it so much. I am up to chapter 19, page 170. There are a few things that I do genuinely adore about this book. One being the fact that there's so many references to Agatha Christie, and I know I've said that before, but there are points when Alice, one of our main characters, talks about how Agatha Christie is a queen, how everyone thought that a woman couldn't write an unsolvable mystery, and yet she did it. I love all of that, and it makes me so excited to start reading Agatha Christie's books. Another thing that I think is really well done in this is just the sheer frustration at being a teenage girl, because we have these two teenage girls. One teenage girl has gone missing and ends up murdered. Again, not a spoiler because it's on the back, but the police really aren't that interested. Even her parent of the girl that went missing is not interested. He's just like, it's what they do. Basically, they're going with the whole point that teenage girls are over emotional and dramatic, and they have to do this for attention, and it's so frustrating. Like, these girls get put down so much, and why it's so frustrating? Because it's so blimmin' relatable. The fact is, you do get treated like that, and it's so frustrating. And even now, people can still treat women like that because they're just like, oh, well, they're clearly just over emotional, or is it your time of the month? And it's just like, you know what, one, how rude, and two, we are valid people with our own thoughts and feelings, and it doesn't make us over emotional. Like, I just think that's handled really well, especially it's just kind of sprinkled throughout here as part of the fact that the girls have to deal with this. Now, I know some people will moan about this book because it isn't realistic. It's not realistic at the fact that you have these two teenage girls that are getting involved with a police investigation and are setting out to solve it because the police just aren't doing it. But I don't read a cozy murder mystery to believe that it would actually happen in real life. I read it to have fun. And YA murder mysteries especially, like, let's face it, this is like a Scooby-Doo. That's what YA murder mysteries are. My partner actually used that reference because I was trying to explain it to him, and he's just like, well, yeah, that's basically what it is. You have those meddling kids that are getting in the way but get the job done. And I love it for that. I enjoy things like this because they're so easy just to relax to. They're fun. I enjoy trying to solve it alongside them, trying to see what's a red herring and what's actually real, and is that a clue? Is it not? Do we need it for later? Like, I love all of that. If you're wanting just to have fun with a cozy murder mystery, this I recommend. Okay, and then the last book that I've been reading currently over the last couple of days is Bunny, and I have been buddy reading this with my friend at work, and it's been so much fun. So I'm up to chapter 12, page 119. It's so much fun to actually buddy read this with someone. I think if I was doing it on my own, I would still appreciate it more, because where I'm up to is where I put the book down last time. I was just like, this is so weird, I don't understand what's going on, it makes no sense, and just put it down. However, by me rereading this, I don't understand what's happening, but I can analyse it and pick up on things that I missed the first time round, and then by discussing it and us having our own theories about what's going on and stuff, it's even more fun. So we are following Samantha, and she goes to this school called Warren where it's really prestigious, and she's in the writer's side of it. She has this writing group with these 4 other girls that she has to attend every day. It's like their workshop that they go to, and she hated it last year because she just felt like a complete outsider, and she would make fun of these girls at the fact that they would call each other Bunny, the fact they were so close to one another. But as it goes on, you realise just how jealous she is of these girls, how obsessed she is, the fact that she does idolise them, and she's kind of turned them into unrealistic figures. Like, they could never seem like normal people to her. She also has a habit of really running away with her imagination. She anthropomorphizes everything, so even the girls, like, she will give them bunny attributes, as in a rabbit, actual attributes of those animals when they're together. She also sexualizes a heck of a lot, basically hedonizes everything to do with them. She turns it really dark, turns everything that happens to her in this really twisted way that has so many different layers of meaning. There is also references to so many books in this. Obviously, being writers, they're studying lots of different poets and authors, and I like that. I like picking up on those. Obviously, the main correlation would be Alice Alice in Wonderland because it is so unusual and different, but there are correlations and just drops of other books in this as well, which I really am enjoying. But it is weird. Me and my friend were talking about this and we would both going, well, is this even real? She thinks, well, what if it's all inside her head? What if none of this is actually happening? And I'm thinking, well, along that vein then, what if this is just a book that she's written? Because she admits to doing that when she was younger. She would write stories about people and hand those in. And I'm like, what if this is one of those? And so that's the thing with this book. You don't know what's real, what's happening, and it is so weird. But I'm actually really liking it this time. So yeah, I'm really intrigued to see where this goes. I'm also annotating like crazy with all my thoughts. I've got a little list on one of the chapters at the end of chapter 11 of just questions that I have in just going, like I've already mentioned to you, is it real? Is this a drug trip that she's on? What is going on? And so I have all of these notes in this book and underlined so many different sections, and it's just so interesting. It makes you question everything. So 3 completely different books, but I really like this because it just suits every single mood that I'm feeling like, and a good way of doing this means that I'm not rushing ahead with any of these books. I'm having fun with them, I'm taking my time. It's been a good time, a really, really good time. So let me know, do you read one book at a time? Do you read multiple? Like, let me know. But right now I do have things I need to do. I've got to finish editing my bookshelf tour, which I was editing that for 3 hours yesterday, and I've still probably got about another hour and a half to go on that one, so there's quite a bit to do. And I'm also hoping potentially film my TBR video. I have one half done. There is going to be another half, but you'll just have to find out very soon because it should all be coming out after this video, very shortly afterwards. So yeah, that's great. So I'm going to get on and do all of that, and we will make progress with the books. I will keep you updated, but this has just been such a fun reading week. Like, I'm having the best time. It's been a few days, but I've been reading something today and I need to talk about that first before I talk about the few days. So. Actually, you know what? Let me do book news. So Bunny, I haven't read any more of. Me and my friend at work, we haven't read any more of that. To be fair, I haven't been at work for the last couple of nights. Our last night together, we were busy chatting and stuff. We haven't actually read any more of that. Because I am reading it with her, I don't want to read it on my own. Nestle and Bone, I did read up to chapter 18, page 261. So we've only got this little bit left, which we're going to be reading next week. There have been updates in terms of what's happening with them, the plot to bring down the prince, well, technically king now. There was a really creepy puppet in it. Still really good, still enjoying the vibes. Moving on, because I don't want to seem like this wasn't good. It has been great and I loved it. But the more important thing to talk about is today, while I was at my partner's, I was reading the Agathas. I'm now on chapter 31, page 294. I only have this little bit to go, and oh my god, I need to know what's going on. Like, I need to know. Like, once I've finished this update, that's it. I'm reading this book. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care if I've got to stay up till late. I'm finishing this book tonight. So much is going on. Now, you guys know I've been enjoying it and that I've had my theories and stuff. Well, today I created a map. So at this point, I'm going to say spoilers. If you want to read the Agathas and you don't want to be spoiled, then I would just maybe skip ahead. I'll put up spoilers, and then when I stop talking about the spoilers thing, that will come down. So just skip ahead till that point, because you guys, spoilers starting now. What is going on? Okay, so Iris and Alice have been working together with some of Iris's friends to find out what has happened to Brooke, the girl that got murdered. The police think it's Steve. Now, Steve, who I've put down here, is the boyfriend. Police are like, well, it must have been him because he can't remember anything, and he did, I mean, to be fair, the next day he did come in looking dodge. Like, he was covered in mud, he was missing a shoe, he could not remember anything that happened. There was this party and he could not remember anything after a certain point, like, it's all blacked out. Now, Iris and Alice do some investigating and find out that's because he was drugged by a girl called Helen because she wanted to get with Steve. Now, she was meant to drug Brooke, but Steve drank the drink instead. So the whole point was to drug Brooke, then get with Steve and everything be amazing, which, girl, that's weird. But unfortunately, Steve drinks it and so Steve gets drugged. But the police didn't do a toxicology report, so there's no evidence of Steve being drugged, even though Helen admits to it. Again, can't really use this because have Iris and Alice been using things legally? Oh, hell no. But yeah, so that's proven. However, Steve has now admitted and said, I'm going to plead guilty. But he admits this after he has a suspicious visit from a very, very wealthy corporation. And so now we're thinking, wait, he's clearly been paid off then, paid to take this hit. What is happening? Why is it after this mysterious visit he's now changed his tune? Weird, right? Right. Our main characters are kind of focused on the fact that it could be Coach. Coach is Brooke's stepdad. Now, the reason why this is, he was not bothered about the fact that Brooke had gone missing. Like, he did not seem to worry about it at all. It took Alice to message Brooke's grandmother to get an investigation even started, because Coach just didn't seem to care. After they did some very illegal things, Iris and Alice that is, they found out that Coach received text messages from Brooke. So the last thing Brooke ever did was send a text message to him saying he needs to come pick her up and where she was. He never responds, and then he lies about this, saying that he never heard from her, she never got in contact with him or anything. So he's clearly suspicious, right? Suspicious. He is also in debt for £300,000, and it turns out that he gets a payout of £5 million when Brooke dies. Obviously, that's heavy red flags. But there was me thinking, well, it must be a red herring, like, it can't be that obvious. And I still do think that. I still think it's too obvious. Now, what I do think is an actual person that could have done this is the fact that Coach was sleeping around with a lot of the women at school. And one of those women was a lady called West McCutch. Now, she is the counsellor. She's the school counsellor. She was really upset that their relationship stopped. Like, really upset. Brooke had thought that they were going to get married. Like, she had mentioned that gets brought up a bit later on. Apparently she mentioned it to someone, didn't like her in the relationship with her dad at all, wasn't happy about it, didn't want it to happen. Coach does break up with her, and his reason via text message, by the way, which douche move, is because of Brooke. So that's the reasoning that he gave. Now, why do they know this? Because they took obviously Coach's phone, which is why they know that he received text messages from Brooke, and they saw the text message from Coach to the counsellor saying, I can't see you anymore because Brooke, you know, he breaks up with her. Although they then find out from his phone that he uses Brooke a lot as reasons to break up with these women, constantly using her as, well, Brooke's really fragile, or Brooke this, Brooke that, and that's the reason why I can't see you anymore. And it's just like, wow, that is... So this lady is obviously not going to be happy about this. She's really broken up about the fact that they're not together anymore. She thinks that Brooke's the reason why. And on top of all of that, there are flashes that you see with her interactions where she's not completely fine. Like, she gets really angry at times and things like that. The students, there have been moments where she's been seen as crazy or intense, and it's just been like little things like that. And then for motive for her, at the very start of the book, page 139, they do say a broken heart, no stronger motive. Now, that's not in reference to her, that's in reference to someone else who then actually has a very solid alibi. That, I just feel like, was a breadcrumb for what is going to happen. Like, that is the motive of all of this, and it's true. Let's face it, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So I think it's her. Now, the problem with my theory in all of this is police. There is something happening with the police. So the reason why they're so set on it being Steve is because of a shoe that they found in the woods. Now, this shoe apparently belongs to Steve. However, when Steve came to after being really drunk, he says he woke up in the middle of the woods with no recollection of anything, but he knew he had a test at school, and so he goes to a donut shop to get a donut and a coffee, then go to school to do his test, because he doesn't have loads of money. Like, his scholarship, basketball, things like that's his way out. So he never drinks, he doesn't mess up school grades and things like that. Like, he's very set on it, so he's never not going to turn up for this test. He goes in, gets the sugar and kick that he needs to be able to go to school. However, when he gets to the coffee shop, the lady that works at the coffee shop, Dolly, she notices how messed up he is and stuff, but gets him his coffee and stuff anyway. He's a nice kid, she doesn't mind. He uses the bathroom. When he goes, she realises that he left one of his shoes in the bathroom. So she gave that to the police. She gave the shoe to the police. They've also taken CCTV that proves that Steve was wearing both of his shoes into the coffee shop the morning after the murder took place. So there's no way in hell his shoe could have been left in the woods unless the police are planting evidence, which definitely seems like it. Also, from the very start, the police just haven't been good at this. They have been really slow to respond. They didn't do any searches or anything, pinning it as, well, Brooks just decided to go away for a few days, just like what Alice did in the summer, so they're not going to waste the time and effort into it. They were happy to put off searching for her for a few days. They haven't done any tox reports. They've barely done any interviews. They haven't interviewed Coach properly. They haven't looked through his phone for evidence of text messages or anything like that. They haven't looked into anything, basically, planting evidence. So it just seems really suspect, and it's just like, well, why are they trying to plant evidence? Why is someone trying to pay, what I assume is paying Steve to take the fall for something? And so that leaves a mystery unknown person with a heck of a lot of money, which, you know what, it could be the person I think it is, the counsellor. Maybe she has a lot of money and we just don't know it. But also, is it? And another thing that I then just found out about Coach, which sparked the whole mind map, is that Coach is not Coach. Coach is lying. Coach was previously rich, and I mean rich, capital letters rich. Like, he was a billionaire. Now, the problem with this is that his wife mysteriously disappeared. Never been found. The body has never ever been found. She was declared dead, but body's never been found. He then changes his name, everything, gets with Brooke's mum, who has a lot of money, and now Brooke is dead. So then that goes back to possibly being Coach. There's so much going on. My partner, when I was talking to him about all this and doing all the mind mapper stuff, he thinks it's the mystery person. He thinks it's a mystery person, that it's someone else. I still think it could potentially be the counsellor in some way, like maybe she pushed her and there's other money things going on and that's why, like, not sure with all of that. Hence why I really want to read this and finish it today to find out what's going on and whether I'm right or not. And I hope this actually made any sort of sense to you guys. So yeah, I'm loving this book. I'm really enjoying it. I think it's so much fun. And I will be finishing this off today. Now, that was a lot of ranting and rambling, and I'm sorry. I think I last updated Wednesday? I don't know. Maybe Wednesday. Who actually knows? I'm actually not sure. Thursday, I was with my partner and we went to a Pokemon event that was going on. It's actually a Pokemon card game event, so we didn't go there for that because we're not into the card games, we like the video games, but they did have a shop and that's the main reason why we went. Let's face it, I like shopping. So I did pick up, I said I'm only going to get one plushie. I ended up with 3, one of them being Cubone. He is just adorable. Look at that. Proper cute. I also ended up with Oddish. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not a massive Oddish person, however I've decided that that is going to look super cute sitting on top of my bookshelves next to one of my plants. How cute will that be? Like, that's going to be cute. I absolutely adore it, so I couldn't leave without that one. And then while we were there, my partner spotted these. Now these are actually a set of 8 prints from the different Pokemon regions, and they all have this kind of pop art style. He loved it. He fell in love with it. He was like, I would love that for when we live together, have it all framed up in our front room, like that would be amazing. And I agreed, and it was only £30 for all 8 prints, so we decided to get it. Ready for when we live together eventually. So I'm not going to be taking out all the prints and stuff because I don't want them to get damaged. We're quite fussy when it comes to artwork, like it's rarely something we both agree on, but this was something we did and we were just like, we never agree on this thing. It was clearly meant to be. So yeah, that is for our future house when we live together in beautiful frames and everything, and it's gonna look great. Yesterday was a lot of family stuff, so I didn't do too much then, but in the evening I did go to my local card shop to play some Magic games, and it's great there. Just have loads of fun. Like, the people that work there are amazing, and just being able to go with my partner, we just have fun with other people who also enjoy Magic Gathering and just relax and forget everything for a few hours and just have fun with this game. Today has just been a relaxing with my partner, and I've literally got home about 3 minutes before I started telling you my conspiracy theories about this. Because that's what I spent my day doing, is reading part of that book and then creating a mind map of who I think it is, which is going to be hilarious when it's none of the people that I think it is and my partner's right that it's someone completely different, but guess we'll see. I also came home to these, but I think I know what this one is. Someone that I'm friends with on Instagram. She knows how much I love Jane Eyre, and I think this is a book that she found when she was doing some secondhand book shopping, and it's a copy of Jane Eyre. It's stunning. It's so beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that stunning? Oh, I am in love. It's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at that on the inside. Oh, so beautiful. Oh my god. No. Look how beautiful that is. And it comes with this as well. It's an actual envelope saying to the publishers. Look at that. And it's literally, it's the first page. There was no possibility of taking a walk that day. That's the first line of the book. Oh, there's beautiful illustrations in colour. Look. And it also has a ribbon bookmark as well. Oh my gosh, and another, oh my god, there's so much in there. Jane's World. Oh, there's a family tree. Oh, look at that. Little snippets of like, this was drawn by Charlotte Bronte. It is in vain to say human beings ought to be satisfied with tranquility. They must have action, and they will make it if they cannot find it. An information bit about being a governess back then. English tea cake recipe. Oh, that's amazing. A letter, oh my gosh, from the actual book. I can't believe she found this secondhand. So much in, like an actual advert for the government. Oh my god, this is something else. This is absolutely stunning. A biography of Charlotte Bronte. Look, there's full page. It's an actual, oh my god, this is, oh my god, it is the most beautiful thing. Oh, okay, right, I really need to go because I've just been going on for absolutely ages. I will wrap up the vlog probably tomorrow morning once I finished this. Thank you for bearing with me with all of this because I don't know how long this video is going to be now, but thanks guys. But yeah, let's see whether I'm right in my suspicions about this book. I need to put all this away. What a good time. What a good time. You will all be pleased to know that I was right. My theory was correct. And yeah, thank you. I will be known as Detective Kirsten going forward. Thank you very much. Thank you. But what I will do is spare you from any consistent ramblings. So we're still on Saturday evening. I'm starving. It's almost 8 o'clock in the evening. I haven't ate because, let's face it, we had important detective work to do and that was way more important. I'm going to go and eat. I'm also going to wrap up the vlog here today to save you guys from having an even longer vlog than necessary because I finished it. It was amazing. I loved this book. It was so much fun. They do have a second book coming out. I don't know when, but it is in the works because I definitely had to know. I had so much fun with this book, and even though I guessed it, I'm still really happy with it. Like, it was so much fun. Absolutely loved this. I loved making my mind map, and as said, Detective Kirsten. Thank you very much. So with that being said, let's make the emoji of this week's vlog a detective or like a magnifying glass, something like that. Let me know, do you like murder mysteries? Do you try and solve them as you go along? Because I had so much fun doing this. But regardless, I am going to go. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please do give it that thumbs up, subscribe, comment to let me know that you're here. Social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.